So at this point, we would come to our special guest of the evening, the chairman of Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, Mr. Kazi Aminul, who is in charge of the bringing in the making ease of doing business in Bangladesh for the foreign investors. It is top priority. So, sir, if you want to comment on that.
Thank you so much. Whenever people talk about BIDA, they say, well, you must be inviting foreign direct investment. And if you look at the activities of the previous organization, which is called Board of Investment, then this is the impression that you get. However, BIDA is a totally new organization. Government has a totally different perspective on this issue. We promote investment, both local as well as foreign. We emphasize on FDI. We do. We need money. But major consideration is not money. It is the knowledge. It is the expertise. It is the best practices. It is better way of doing things and doing better things that we learn. And that is why you focus on FDI. At the same time, we would like to take investment. You know, you have seen the BOI activities has been focused mainly in Dhaka and Chittagong, the two big cities. We would like to take investment to the furthest corner of the country. Even the remotest places will have investors in, you know, some of the innovative financial products that will be coming, probably the venture capital or something, which we are thinking about. So that's the kind of focus that this organization has. Very holistic, very inclusive. We'd like to take everybody with us. And, you know, we are like any other investment promoting agency. And, you know, we do all the traditional functions, provide investor services, try to build image for the country, do advocacy for the private firms, private sector, and as well as try to generate investment. That's what every investment promoting agency does, IPS do. But here in BIDA, we focus firstly on providing investor services, because any investor will need certain thing in order to engage in business activity. We'd like to provide better experience to the investor in accessing those services. And that is why we have what we call One-Stop Service Act, which I believe will be final in the next session of the Parliament. And we have already framed the rules and regulations through which we'll implement that. And we have the support from the World Bank. And, you know, as they say, this is one of the most robust one-stop service that, you know, has been experienced in many of the countries. In fact, we studied one-stop service in 23 different countries. And based on the learnings, we are not following any. We are learning from everybody. And we have crafted our own one-stop service. That's coming very soon. I guess in the next 6 months, it will be up and running. It will be totally web-based and, you know, a portal. And everybody can access that at the comfort of their home. You know, you can access that from anywhere in the world. So that's the kind of service that we are working on. And the other thing is, you know, I would like to refer to the survey. It talks about ease of doing business thing. They also talk about the issues of stability in the country and issues of security and safety. Let us take these issues head on. You see, there is huge difference between the reality and the perception, so far as this is concerned. I just give you 1 or 2 examples. We are having, for the last 8 years, a very stable government. We are having stability everywhere, in macroeconomics, in inflation targeting, in running the economy. You see, we have stability in all these areas. Again, you see, if you look at the press and everywhere, there is a question, of stability comes forward. Look, if you compare the situation in other countries, the other day, President of South Korea was impeached. Is that a stable country? Definitely it is. It's part of the turbulence that, it's a part of a democratic society. So, in our case, I believe that this perception thing should go, and we, as from the survey came, that we need to work on this. Out of 189 countries, in terms of ease of doing business, if this is a country that low, at the bottom, in terms of ease of doing business, still could be that star performer, what would be the situation of this country in terms of achieving development objectives when all these issues of ease of doing business are dealt? We know, we recognize our problems. We know our laws are dated. We know there are many rules which are unnecessary. We know there are processes which are redundant. We know there are procedures in this country which is cumbersome. We are dealing with it. We recognize the issues. We recognize this problem. We are working on it. And once these are dealt properly, I believe days are not far when the world will see the best of Bangladesh. The world hasn't seen the best of Bangladesh. And I don't want to, prolong my talk any further. My appeal to all of you is to work together. An appeal to BCG, I've been encouraged from some of the previous works of BCG, especially on some of the sectors that coming up. So I really, liked your tagline that you believe in Bangladesh. We have to believe in us. And I would urge upon BCG to work in a few areas. Firstly, to build and articulate the story. Let the people know, let the world know, not a rosy story, but the real story. Risks and returns. In reality, not the perceptions. Secondly, as I said, we have a story to tell. Let this message get across. And I would like to urge upon you to think about the way we can get this story across. And thirdly, let us have a greater understanding of the issues, our strength, our weakness, so that we can build on our strength, we can work on our weaknesses. And finally, as I said, we need to work together. Any problem, I believe, can be solved. You people are mostly from the IT sector. I mean, you have a lot more interest in IT sector. But there is something probably you should know. Back in 2008, I was Secretary Prime Minister's office. Then we studied what is the IT-enabled service that people get at the root level. Because we have spent a lot of money during the previous government, BNP government and the other governments and other governments. In 2008, IT-enabled service provided by the government at the root level, grassroots level, was 0. And how many services we have at the moment? Everyone has a smartphone at the Honorable Minister's side. And even the remotest village has access to. So, that's what has happened. If that can happen, anything can happen, provided we can work together. Again, I give you another statistics, a piece of information. Back in 2008, generation capacity of electricity power was 3,300 megawatt. And we have multiplied that capacity almost by 500% in 7 years. If that can happen, anything can happen. I give you one, that is the last thing. There I would, like to see the engagement. I'm really happy to see Zarif, engaged with all this thing, and he's back here. And, I would sometimes talk to his father, as a senior, a very, very senior person. You see, we have a target at the national level. By 2021, we have to be middle-income country. 2041, we have to be high-income country. Can we do that? That again, I would say, refer to the tagline. We believe in Bangladesh. Let us believe in ourselves. I give you simple numbers. You see, at the moment, this is a $250 billion economy, right? We have a population of 160 million. Between 2010 and 16, we have doubled our GDP, right? And when we say that in 2041 will be a high-income country, what is it that we are, talking about? Let us have some numbers. At the moment, threshold level between middle and high-income countries, little over $12,000. 12 times the current size. Can we do that? I believe we can. If we could multiply, we could double our GDP between 10 and 16, we can also achieve this. And there, I believe, Boston Consulting Group's role would be very important. One thing we are missing is knowledge. Knowledge of the issues, knowledge of even ourselves, as I said, our strength and our weakness. We'd like to want on all these issues. And again, one thing that I would refer to, he said, forget about sequentialism. Jagate, Bangla, in this world, probably one thing needs to be sequential. And that is, in order to die, you have to be born. And rest of the thing, all could be parallel. That's what I believe. Let us move on to parallelism. We started saying that it's a digital Bangladesh. You see, that's past. We have achieved, we'll be achieving. And this is something no one can stop. Let us make this country an entrepreneurial Bangladesh. Next time, let us bring the young people to this arena. A friend has said that we have a lot of strength, but we don't have a story. We have to have that. And tell the world this is the proposition, that we have from Bangladesh. Thank you very much. And I'm so sorry that I prolonged my talk.